First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahushua Ba'Shem, Rakakwadash. Yahweh is to this world ignorantly calls God. Yahushua is to this world ignorantly calls Jesus. Ba'Shem means in the name, Rakah means spirit, and Quadash means holy. And that's on the Paleo Hebrew. I also want to give double honors to the elder bishops and apostles of Great Millstone that taught me this truth. And today's video, I wanted to go into how the truth of who the Israelites are today is out there. Okay, and this video is inspired by a screenshot of a brother's video. The brother, the head elder from the Chicago camp, GMS Maccabean Spirit 144. And in his video the other day, called Ancient Egyptian King Destroys Darwin, Johann Blumenbach, Hamitic Theory, and All White Supremacists, he went over this book, this receipt. So the brother first posted the scripture right here. It says 1 Thessalonians chapter 5 and verse 21, prove all things, hold fast that which is good, abstain from all appearance of evil. Right, so when it comes to the scriptures, when it comes to any points that we make, we are supposed to prove all things. Right, explain yourself. And it says, this is from The Negroes and the Jews, a book written by Lenora E. Burson. And she said, the Negroes' claim to be Jewish or a Jew is legitimate. The land of Israel is located in Western Asia and borders on North Africa. All of the native inhabitants of that region were non-white. When Spain expelled its Jews in 1492, many of them went to Africa. It seems probable that some of them were brought later to America as slaves. The spirituals never sing of African rivers. It's always the Jordan or the Red Sea. They don't sing about African chiefs. Okay, and then it goes on to say how they sing about Moses, right, one of the prophets. And the reason is because those are the Israelites. And as she said it, here it is, we'll tell our people the truth, but as soon as, the white man, the white woman, Esau, Edom tells you the truth, oh, now it makes sense. That shows you the, Stockholm syndrome that our people have. They believe the oppressor ain't more than their own brothers. So, as it says, the Negroes' claim to be Jew is legitimate. Right, the true Israelites are the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans as a collective. And the reason we know that today is because the truth and the Great Awakening is taking place. So let's first read about that in Baruch chapter 2, and I'll start at verse 28. Give me a second. It says, as thou spakest by thy servant Moses in the day when thou didst command him to write the law before the children of Israel, saying, if you will not hear my voice, surely this very great multitude shall be turned into a small number among the nations where I will scatter them. Right, and that's going into how, the curses, Deuteronomy chapter 28, how for disobedience, the Lord scattered us throughout all four corners of the earth and made us forget who we are as a nation. Now it says, for I knew that they will not hear me because it is a stiff-necked people. But in the land of their captivities, they shall remember themselves. Okay, one more time. But in the land of their captivities, they shall remember themselves. And that's why you have people worldwide talking about being Hebrew Israelites. Because in all the places where we have been scattered, we are remembering who we actually are. Okay, and that is the prophecy being fulfilled. So, it says, and shall know that I am Yahweh their power, for I will give them in hearts and ears to hear, and they shall praise me in the land of their captivity, and think upon my name, and return from their stiff neck and from their wicked deeds, for they shall remember the way of their fathers, which sinned before Yahweh, and I'll bring them again into the land which I promised with an oath unto their fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and they shall be lords of it. And now I will not increase them, and they shall not be diminished. And I will make an everlasting covenant with them to be their God, and they shall be my people. And I will no more drive my people of Israel out of the land that I have given them. Right, and that is soon what is going to take place. is that Yahushua is about to come back, destroy all these nations, and ultimately set up his people to be the kings, priests, rulers, judges, immortals, forever. So, that all starts with this right here. The awakening in the land of their captivities, they shall remember themselves. And let me go back. I accidentally closed that. When you go into Revelation, we can read that also in Revelation chapter 11 at verse 11. It says, "And after 3 days and a half, the spirit of life from God entered into them, and they stood upon their feet, and great fear fell upon them which saw them." Okay, and when you go into what exactly this is talking about, this is going into the Israelites waking up. Right after a certain amount of time, 3 days and a half, which goes into 350 years where we're just spiritually fully dead, which ultimately that dates to 1612 when the first Negro slave ship touched the soils of America, all the way to 1970 when the truth came out. Roughly 350 years. But during that period of slavery, we were completely void of any knowledge. The Most High stripped us of everything, and we were just slaves, lost. That's why you read it in Ezekiel chapter 37, it refers to Israel, as dry bones, because we had no idea who we were as a people. But after that time period was over, the spirit of life from Yahweh was going to enter into us, right? We're going to start awakening to who we are. And that happened roughly in 1970, the beginning. It says, "And they stood upon their feet," right? Going into knowing who we are. It says, "And great fear fell upon them which saw them." Right? And that great fear falling upon those that saw us is ultimately dealing with the elites, because the elites know the prophecies. They have their scholars to search out the scriptures, and they know that once we start waking up, that their kingdom is about to go down. So that's what it's talking about when you go into the great fear. Now, you can read the next verse, how it talks about, "And they heard a great voice from heaven saying unto them, Come up hither. And they ascended up to heaven in a cloud, and their enemies beheld them." Right, so, roughly after that awakening, the destruction comes, the salvation comes. And that's soon what is going to take place. Right, we can see how all these prophecies are moving fast, and it's just a matter of time till we're on one of those clouds, chariot. And Lord willing, I'm a part of that number. So I'm going to read one more scripture going into the awakening that I quoted. Right, this is Ezekiel chapter 37 and I'll start at verse 9. It says, "Then said he unto me, Prophesy unto the wind, prophesy, son of man, and say to the wind, Thus saith Yahweh, Come from the four winds, O breath, and breathe upon these slain, that they may live." Right, and that's going into what we're doing right now. Right, we're prophesying unto the wind, we're prophesying, spreading this word nonstop, right, to wake up those dry bones. Okay, the dead, spiritually dead Israelites. It says, "So I prophesied as he commanded me, and the breath came into them, and they lived and stood up upon their feet, an exceeding great army." Right, and that's exactly what we just read in Revelation. Right, let's jump there one more time. Revelation 11 and verse 11, "And the spirit of life from God entered into them, and they stood upon their feet, and great fear fell upon them which saw them." Right, the exact same thing. Okay, it's talking about the awakening. Now going back, it says in verse 10, "So I prophesied as he commanded me, and the breath came into them, and they lived and stood up upon their feet, an exceeding great army. Then he said unto me, Son of man, these bones are the whole house of Israel. Behold, they say, Our bones are dried, and our hope is lost. We are cut off for our parts." Right, so showing you what it was actually talking about. Now, ultimately, this is soon what is going to take place. Verse 21, "And say unto them, Thus saith Yahweh, Behold, I will take the children of Israel from among the heathen whither they be gone, and will gather them on every side, and will bring them into their own land. And I will make them one nation in the land upon the mountains of Israel, and one king shall be king to them all. And there shall be no more two nations, neither shall they be divided into two kingdoms any more at all. Neither shall they defile themselves any more with their idols, nor with their detestable things, nor with any of their transgressions, but I will save them out of all their dwelling places wherein they have sinned, and I will cleanse them. So shall they be my people, and I will be their power. And David my servant shall be king over them, and they shall all have one shepherd. They shall also walk in my judgments and observe my statutes, and do them. Okay, and that's what's coming, is a rulership. The Lord saving us out of all the places where we've been scattered, taking us back to the Holy Land, right? Reuniting all 12 tribes. So it's no longer Southern Kingdom, Northern Kingdom. It's just one kingdom, right? Yahushua is going to be at the top, right? David under Yahushua. And all the Israelites are going to be all righteous because part of the second covenant is those immortal bodies that have the law, statutes, and commandments programmed inside of them. So this is what's coming. And our oppressors have known this since the beginning. As it says, the Negro claim to be Jew is legitimate. So, hey, I'll leave it there. Hopefully it was edifying. With that, I would give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash, and double honors to the elder bishops and apostles of Great Millstone that taught me this truth. Shalom to you, like Shalom.